Hello everyone, so this video is going to be all about the parts and supplements that I pick up throughout a grounded speedrun. Now I know I just made a really long tutorial that goes over this stuff, but I doubt you want to sit through 21 hours of footage for, you know, the exact amount of things that I pick up. I spend more time explaining how a fight goes, but the in-between stuff picking things up, I kind of just breeze through that a little bit. When you're walking here, pick it up, and that's it. So I want to make its own video about where you pick everything up. To start, we are going to talk about the parts. Now the parts, you know, you pick up throughout the run so you can upgrade Joel's weapons. And I will display that right here. I will also be turning off my webcam so you can focus better. Yeah, that will always be on the screen. Now you should have 75 or 76 when you get to the dam. And yeah, let's get started. The first set of parts right here is in the cargo right before you run past all those enemies. And they're right here. Now most of the time I like to hold triangle to pick everything up, but I'm going to pick them up individually here. And for this area right here, you only need to pick up 2. You want the shift for a grounded run, but right here you only want to pick up 2. So there's 2 right there.
Joel, give me a hand with this.
Alright, now we're in Bill's town, like when you first enter his town, and if you've watched my tutorial, you know you're familiar with the Ellie whistle strat. You enter, when you hop down there, then you enter a building over there, you stay in there long enough to trigger Ellie whistling, you bring it outside and it skips some dialogue. We're going to get 2 things of parts. One in the Ellie whistle room, and another in a shiv door. I'm not going to trigger the clickers so I can spend a little time here, but...
Down here. Just watch your step. It's a good drop.
Yeah, here's the next thing of parts. I'm going to keep track as we go. So we go in this room first, and we get a set of 5 parts that are on this table to the right. So now we're at 7. Here, Ellie's whistling.
Are you alright?
I'm trying to learn how to whistle.
You don't know how to whistle.
Well, does it sound like I know how to whistle?
So now we're at 7. The majority of the parts we pick up is going to be throughout Bill's town. There are actually no part pickups in Pittsburgh. Alright, so normally I would fire a gun here. And then we come over here. There's a bunch of stuff in here.
Alright.
Nice.
The most important thing here is a set of 10. So now we're at 17. And yeah, there's other stuff here, but we'll focus on that later. But that's it for the parts in this area.
Alright.
Alright.
Barricades again.
Now we're a little bit further in Billstown. After we meet up with him, we get rid of these infected. There's 10 parts at the top of the stairs here.
Then it'll take
Bill.
Joel this way. Up we go.
We go right over here. Ungrounded, there's nothing in that little shed down there.
Place to hole up,
Before we go over there, we go over here,
They're predictable.
and we collect 10 more parts.
People that scare me.
And then you come over here anticipating the triangle prompt, and that brings us to a total of 27. And now we're inside of Bill's armory.
All right, before we go any further,
And if we come over here, there's a bunch of parts right here. I don't know how many. Let me get the tools out of the way.
box.
Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15. 15 parts, which brings us to a total of
It shreds anybody standing nearby.
Yeah, I've seen your
42.
handiwork.
Pretty good, huh?
And, yeah, that's actually all that's there in his armory. Alright, now we're at the doggy door
This way.
in Graveyard. Just a little bit further
Tie
ahead.
it on the other side.
What about going through here?
What, the doggy door?
Now, I know there's a lot of parts, like, behind me, and,
Of course.
like, when you're going through
Maybe you should have given her a gun.
Okay, Bill.
that part of the building right there, you can even see it. There's some parts on the table right there. You don't want to slow down at all when picking those up. So I tend to avoid those. And I know there's some parts right here, but But you want to get these arrows, not the bow. You want to get these arrows and then get back there as soon as possible. So really, when you're coming from here, you just want to get these and then go back. You can get those parts if you want, but they're not necessary. The parts that I pick up are right here. There's some on the shelf to my left, right there. You can pick them up through the door. So right there, I just picked up 5. So we'll add 5 more. That gives us 47. Now I'm actually going to stay here because they're in the next, they're in this house as well.
I think we're good.
For now.
Like I said, we only need 75 for the dam.
Nobody's bitten, right?
Having more really doesn't
We're all
help me.
fine. Let's just keep going.
There's a rag, and there's another 5 right there. So that brings us to 52. And yeah, that's it for Graveyard.
That don't sound good.
As you can see, we are now in the high school. Take care of the bloater. Take care of these guys. And then right over here. 10 parts.
It's been infected for a long
Brings
time.
us to a total
We call 'em
of
bloaters.
62.
Okay, got it.
I hate to interrupt your little biology lesson.
And yeah,
but can we
that's
get
it for
the
the high
fuck outta
school.
here, please?
Alright. Now we're just before the truck push. And there's some parts right here as well. Okay, let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 8. Which brings us to a total of 70. Kind of
Good
a
idea.
weird amount to be there, but hey,
I'll give you a holler.
whatever. Alright, that's it for here. Okay, here we are in the dam. Not the dam fight, but before that, when we're at the dam. This is, again, is a relatively new strat, but you don't have to follow Tommy, you can go down the side. Can you believe that many parts were picked up in Billstown? There were the 2 before we did cargo, and then there were 68 parts spread throughout Billstown. We don't pick up any in Pittsburgh, and then the last set of 5 is coming up right here.
Though, right?
Who doesn't? But it's the world we live in.
Or maybe you don't have to be.
Right? There.
You sound like Marlene.
There's a thing of 5. We have our 75 parts. And I'll show you what we upgrade, where, and how, and stuff.
These two geniuses are gonna
I go over the movement and why we do it in the tutorial, but
You don't believe us?
I'll do the same movement here.
Sure. Make it 2.
Let me get the El Diablo. And then right over here, for the speed run, all we need now is an upgraded right holster. And that requires 75 parts. It's the first one that pops up. 75. And that's it for parts. There is like one other thing you can upgrade, but obviously you need more parts. It's not mandatory for the speedrun, but sometimes it's nice to have. Revolver fire rate. Again, not necessary, but it can be a nice little addition to have, because the science lab and when Joel wakes up in winter, sometimes having a faster revolver can be a lifesaver, because there's some randomness with those areas. Let me show you where to get those parts.
Yeah, I told you to know. If you're gonna steal.
And that other area I was referring to is the financial district.
Hey, who's that?
The reason I'm showing the fight is because I don't get these parts after the fight's over. I get them before. So right here, I pick up everything that gets dropped, and then these 25 parts right here.
All right, come on down.
Now, I like to pick those parts. I try and pick those parts up
Now, the
before the
safety
fight's
zone,
over, because
Do you know how
we're
to
pretty
switch it
strict for
off?
time right now. I don't want to, instead of going right there, I don't want to go over here and pick these up and then go back over there. Loses too much time for what we're trying to do here. So what I do, if you can get those parts, great. If you don't, that's okay. Just leave them. Again, all we want is right holster. But if you can get those parts, then, you know, you can upgrade right holster and revolver fire rate. Let me show you real quick. Okay, so we're back here. Still have the same amount of parts. I'm not even going to bother doing this all again.
We think we got it.
So, the 25 we picked up in financials should give us
Believe us?
I didn't say that.
100.
I'll bet you a
And with that 100, we will upgrade right holster.
We're almost ready. They just need to
And if you have time, revolver fire rate. We have 5 more than we need, but it's not my problem that there were 25 there instead of 20. So yeah, that's
Do just fine.
that's pretty much it here. So again, we need 75 parts for right holster. That's absolutely all you need. If you can get those 25 parts on the financial district table before the fight's over, upgrade revolver fire rate with it as well. Now, for personal preference, if you just want to, you know, compete for a good enough time and don't want to try for like a record or a 250 or something, or even a sub 3, then, you know, you can collect other parts to upgrade something. If you want the left holster, you know, you can spend time collecting some other parts. If you want rifle clip capacity or just other upgrades, there are other parts you can pick up. Like I ran past some parts in Graveyard, like I showed you. There's a bunch of parts downstairs right here as well. There's the financial part, even like right after financial, and you lift the garage door. There's 10 parts on a shelf right next to you. You know, you can plan your own route, but for like the fastest part pickups possible and the most efficient, so you have exactly what you need, the ones that I showed you are going to be your best bet. Now, up next, we're going to go over supplements. Here, I'll put the webcam back on the screen. So supplements, actually, let me... There we go. Now, supplements are the pills that Joel picks up. They, you know, in a speed run, we use those to upgrade weapon sway, and you need 50 to upgrade them. We upgrade them completely in the hotel elevator shaft. Now, we don't pick up 50 of them. You're given them in increments of 5 or 10. So really, we only have to pick up like 8 or 9 of them. So, yeah, I'll have the webcam off again, but let's go over the supplement locations for a grounded speedrun. Okay, first thing of supplements is here in the downtown building. Once you get through this door here, it is right here. And this is a thing of 5.
The building feels like it's about to fall apart.
5 supplements right off the bat. It's a pretty lengthy, tall building, but that's actually it for downtown.
We'll go upstairs.
Alright. We're in the Capitol now. And overall in Capitol, there's 2 different things of supplements to pick up. First one is going to be right after Tess dies. Boo-hoo.
Tess.
Right. The first one is right before you continue on there. There's a thing of 5 right there. And that brings us up to 10. And then we do the entirety of the Capitol.
Here soon.
I know, Ellie, I know. All right, next spot is later on in the subway. Okay, we're in the subway now, and these next thing of supplements are kind of weird. They're over in this hallway over here, but there's a checkpoint. There's an interesting checkpoint here. When we move Ellie over to drop the ladder, we have to pick the supplements in that room up before Joel says, "I got it." When he says, "I got it," that's like a checkpoint is hit there, and when you restart encounter, it puts you up there. If he says, "I got it," before he picks up the supplements, they're not going to count. But if he picks the supplements up after he says, "I got it," they're not going to count. If you pick them up before he says it, then they will count. So I'll show you.
Get on.
Really?
Ellie.
Got my words mixed up there.
Be careful.
I got you.
So right here, we're kind of on a timer here. We'll do what the strat normally is. Normally I like to swap to a revolver here if I have the right amount of ammo. Then right there, there's the supplements right there. You don't have to climb up and get them. You can get them from the top of the water here. Just mash triangle, and then Joel says,
I got it.
I got it. Restart encounter. It puts you right here. Now, as long as you picked up those supplements before Joel says I got it, you're fine. That gives us a total of 15. And just like the parts, the majority of the remaining supplements are in Billstown. Alright, we're back here again. We've already done this part for the parts, so I'm not
Down
going to
here.
explain this area again.
Watch your step. It's a good drop.
But if you remember the part pickups, you know that there were supplements right next to them. So in here, we got to trigger the Ellie whistling. There's the 5 parts, but here's 5 supplements. 5 supplements.
Are you alright?
I'm trying to learn how to whistle.
You don't know
We'll
how
add
to
that to the total.
I don't think I know how to whistle.
And then normally I would fire a gun right here to be able to sprint here. And then use the shiv we picked up with the shiv door like I've already explained.
Alright.
Nice.
Here's the parts, here's the rifle ammo. Here's the supplements. There are a total of 15, 10, and 5. So 15 brings us to a total of 35. As you can see why this door is so important. Rifle ammo, parts, and 15 supplements. And yeah, that's it for this area. Alright, we're in Graveyard now. Now these supplements that I'm going to pick up are kind of like in the middle of the fight.
It's all new territory.
And you have a small window of opportunity to pick them up, so I'm going to show it from the beginning. Okay, so those supplements are behind us. But you pick them up after the area is secure. I think there's 2 here. That's okay. Alright, so there they are. Okay, now when Bill is going for the gate, that's when you pick these up in your spare time. It's a total of 5,
I got a key for that gate.
and then you have to get into position ready for the strat that we normally do here. So there's 5, which brings us to a total of 40. You don't want to pick those supplements up when you first get to the bottom level and there's clickers around. You want to pick them up after they're all dead, and even if you're like you kill all of them, you're right here, you want to get Bill to the door right here. So make sure, like, if you finish the area here, you don't go for them and then you go back. You need to get to around this spot here for Bill to start opening the gate. So yeah. Pick up those supplements after the area is secure and you've gotten Bill to around this portion. Then go back for them. Right, and that's it for Graveyard. Great. We're in the truck push. Normally like to come over here, grab the stuff like we did before. But right over here. 5 supplements. Right there.
He's gonna steal my shit and run off.
Which brings us to a total of... It's muscle memory. I always like to do this before we go.
I'm sure there's more supplies.
It's a good
There
idea.
we go. But 5 supplements right there brings us to a total of 45 supplements. And that's it for Billstown. There is one more pickup, which should give us the 50 we need, and it is in the hotel. Alright. Last one, like I said, is in the hotel. I'll do it from here just to show the process, because there's some confusion as to why I pick up this supplement the way I do. So the supplement is in this drawer, but I don't pick it up here because I'm flat-footed.
Creepy.
So if I come over here and spawn in the enemies, and then come back and pick it up, there's the 5 that we need, and I'm still otherwise just waiting for these enemies to go into their room, because if you kill this guy too early, they might see it.
Oh man.
So in that context, you would lose time by getting the supplements first and then coming forward. So I go forward and then go back once the enemies are spawned in. Those 5 supplements should give us a total of 50.
Let's see where this goes.
And we upgrade them. We use those 50 supplements
Tight fit, but
right here.
come on.
Just in case.
Stand over here so Ellie can drop down behind you, and then 50 supplements for weapon sway. Out of time, whatever. You would normally just swap to the rifle right there. Now I'm sure you're thinking like, oh, I mean, you can benefit better from maximum health, I'm sure, right? From this point forward, having to do financial district right after this, and then like some other pretty like intense performance areas like Searchlight and Dam Fight and Ranch Fight, you need that upgraded weapon sway help. You really, really do. Especially on Grounded, where you need to get your shots off a little quicker. So yeah, those are the supplements. If you miss any of those supplements, or say you don't, hold on. Let me show you like one backup supplement you can get in case you miss one that isn't too far out of your way. Yeah, so I wanted to show this one off real quick. Because unlike parts, supplements, one can give you a whole thing of 5. So if you missed a supplement somewhere, or you think you missed one, just go around this corner, there's a thing of 5 right there. I also think there's parts in there. Ignore that door. But yeah, there's a thing of supplements right there in the suitcase. I believe there's also a
All right. Here's the bridge. That's our way out of here.
like I mentioned with the parts, you can find spare parts if you go looking for them. Whether you missed them or you want to upgrade something I didn't mention.
Right here.
But here's a nice thing of supplements right here. Here's a thing of 5. There was a thing of 5 before. So if you miss one or you're just unsure if you have enough, there's 10 right there that aren't too far off the path. Which actually makes me remember there was one other thing of parts I wanted to show off. Okay, yeah, I forgot to mention this part before.
I was too damn close.
But when you go... Here, she's going to take a while, so let's just go. There's 5 parts right there.
Excuse me.
Now let's say, just what I mentioned before, if there are
I've been reading.
some parts that you think that you missed, there are others you can replace them with, but there's 5 right here. Remember the one in, like right before the treehouse in Graveyard? You slow down a little bit picking up those 5 behind the doorway. There's 5 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a nice replacement if for some reason you skipped getting 5 somewhere, or you want to pick these up instead of another one, because as you can see, this doesn't lose any time at all. It's a nice safe backup. I wanted to show off those 2 specifically because they don't lose... The supplements only lose a little bit of time, but those don't lose any time at all, if you want to replace some or find your own route. But yeah, that's pretty much it for parts and supplements. Now, one thing I got to mention is, no matter what difficulty you're doing, whether it's easy or grounded, textures. Parts and supplements are exactly the same. Whether it's on easy, whether it's on grounded, the part and supplement locations remain exactly the same no matter what difficulty you're doing. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I know about the parts and the supplements. And yeah, if you have any questions at all, just put them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. And yeah, like I said before, difficulty isn't affected. Difficulty doesn't affect parts and supplements. The route is there. It's the fastest way to get exactly what you need. And if you want to upgrade other things, you can waver from the path, but what I showed you is the fastest and most efficient. So yeah, again, any questions, happy to answer. See you guys. Bye.